it matters definitely. You have to vote. You cannot not vote and complain. You have to say what you think. And this is the greatest democracy ever made. This is it right here. And if we don't take advantage of that, then it's a joke.
I am voting, and since I live in a blue state, I don't necessarily believe that my individual vote may necessarily make the largest impact, because when you look at voting, it never comes down to one vote. But I think that it's more or less the social responsibility that comes with it. If I have a problem with the system, I can't rightfully complain if I didn't do my part to fix it. So at least if I have my voice out there, that's sort of just my civic duty to do so.
There are also tons of state elections, local elections, city elections, and in all of those, you do have an impact. Most of those elections are decided by small margins, and so it's silly to not go vote just because you think the presidential election won't be decided by your vote. Make the changes locally. That change will grow and become a statewide change, and in the years to come, what you started now locally can have an impact nationally or even internationally.
But no, I will vote in this election. I think it's extremely important. And does my vote count? Yeah, it definitely does. You know, I think in Kentucky, the presidential election's already been decided. And, you know, when I cast my vote, it's not gonna make or break the presidential election, but yeah, it matters. I mean, if my candidate wins or loses, it's, you know, probably already been decided in Kentucky, but that one vote matters. And more importantly, there's, you know, some very tight races going on right now here that are very important, and my vote will matter in deciding those races. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody's vote matters. Whether it's a foregone conclusion who's going to win or lose for one race, there's a ton of other races out there, and you know, I mean, it's very important.
Every vote matters. Every vote matters. We have had way too many men, you know, fight and die for our right to vote, and to not vote is really a disgrace, in my opinion. I mean, no matter what your vote is, you should get out and vote and cast it, because that's your right as an American to get out and do that.
I'm not really Democrat or Republican. Sometimes I vote on the politician that I think is going to fix things that are broken in a way that, you know, mends the world.
I think I will definitely vote, and I have voted all the time. I mean, every opportunity, because I'd like to believe it counts.
I am absolutely going to vote. I always vote. I don't miss an election. Do I think my vote matter? Absolutely it does, specifically local elections. It is so important because one or two votes makes a difference in a local election. Presidential election, we've got the Electoral College. I don't know how much my one vote matters in reference to the presidential election, but I am an advocate of you've got to get out and vote because it affects you every day locally.
We still vote, and I think it's important to vote, even if, you know, you vote and the person, you know, maybe your vote counts a lot more with the smaller local elections where people might only win by, you know, a couple hundred or a couple thousand, or in some small towns maybe the mayor won by 20 votes, you know, but when you're voting like for the president, and that, you know, the margin of victory, you know, might be 100,000 votes in your state, but I still think you should make that effort and vote anyway.
Well, I think it matters. I think everybody's vote matters because, you know, it's maybe only a little drop in the bucket, but pretty soon if you get enough drops in the bucket, that bucket's full.
When you vote for a candidate, you should vote on the facts, the issues. What can this person do for everybody? You feel me? Not just because a Democrat and these are their values, or Republican and these are their values.
If you're not voting, if you're not willing to at least be present, that's shit's gonna continue to happen, you know, and there's plenty of problems to address now that everyone, you know, even on a local level, you know, if you think you can't do anything internationally, it's like, or nationally, it's like, run for city council, you know, get involved in your own community and change things from the ground up. Yeah, you're probably not going to run for Congress and be a congressman, you know, without a lot of assistance, and by that point it's probably irrelevant because you're bought and paid for. But that doesn't mean you can't affect the world around you, and I think that's what, you know, if you want to be proud to be American, if you want to feel like you're part of the greater tradition of democracy in America, it's like you got to get involved on the local level. You know, stop worrying all the time about what the idiots are doing, you know, and do something that can affect people that you know and, you know, you care about, and that will eventually, you know, it'll grassroots its way up, you know, it'll trickle up, if you will.